What's up, friends and neighbors? Welcome to your boy Eggman's news interview again. As you guys can see, our guest today is the man himself, Jones, aka Excellent Health. Today I'm going to be teaching him how to speak Chinese.
Okay.
I'm just
Interesting.
kidding. Today I prepared some pretty casual questions that I'm going to ask him. With that said, thank you so much for doing this with me, Jones. Welcome to my interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First of all, can you tell the listeners what time is it over there?
It's 8 a.m. currently. 8:11 actually, to be more specific. So it's in the morning.
Can you talk about what time do you usually wake up and go to bed?
Oh, sunrise. Sunrise, easily.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, well, the thing is with Sweden, it's since it's high latitude, the variation in the day length is very, very strong over here. So in the winter, I think our latest sunrise on the 21st of December is something like 8:45 a.m. Before that, it's dark. And then during summer, the earliest one is 3:30 a.m. So currently it's at 5:15, and so that's completely manageable for me. And then a few hours after sunset, maybe 1 to 2 hours, depending on how sleepy I am, depending on what's happened during the day. That's when I'd go to sleep. But currently, 8 p.m. is when I go to sleep.
Okay. Are you going to eat anything today?
Eat? Yeah, I've already eaten breakfast. I ate mackerel, raw mackerel.
I see. Can you talk about what you have been eating?
You mean my current diet? Yeah, I mean it's seafood heavy, mostly mackerel, but I can have some cod here and there, wild caught fish usually, and raw beef fat. I usually like to have raw beef fat with that. Seaweed as well, for iodine, usually after meals though, and then here and there, a few times per week, some land animals. Not something that's too high in iron. Usually it has been pork just to get some extra vitamin B1 because pork is really good in terms of that, and not many other foods are. So that's that really. I mean, not much else. And then local fruits. Our neighbor gave us cherries, and so I had some of those a few weeks ago. That's all. Now apples are growing, so I might have some of those.
Do you eat eggs?
No, I. It's funny. I developed some kind of severe intolerance to eggs
Oh,
after being vegan, after breaking my
oh,
my veganism, let's say streak, back in
okay.
2019, and so beginning of 2019, first half, and ever since then I have had bad reactions to eggs. I think I'm gonna be able to fix that in the future, though.
So you're not like against eggs. You're just intolerant to them.
Well, no, I'm not against most animal foods. It's just that the quality matters. If the eggs are from a bad chicken, then I'm against them. If they're from a really healthy chicken, then I'm for them. So no, I'm not against eggs at all.
I see. Are you based in Italy?
I am based in Sweden.
Oh, okay. You're
I'm
from
in
there?
Stockholm. Yeah, yeah, I was born here. I was born here.
Ah, I see. I don't know where I got that from. I got
I
that
well,
wrong.
I look like a. Some people say that I look more South European. You could say. Like I could be from the south of Spain or Italy or even Greece. Many people have told me that I look like I'm Greek. But I am, ancestrally speaking, I am from that same latitude. I'm from the 37th latitude, so I guess I would be similar to those people. Yes, I tan easily, I have dark hair, but I become very white during the winter.
How many languages can you speak?
Oh, currently, fluently reading, let's say, yeah, completely fluently, two of them on an academic level, Swedish and English, and then Arabic I can read and write, but I can't read and write on an academic level. So, but I speak, of course, Arabic
Ah,
fluently. Currently, I know I can get by with German as well because I studied it in school, and currently I'm learning Spanish, and it's sort of at the same level as my
what?
German.
I
So
see, I see. Wow.
three and a half
Our boy is a
languages. I don't count
polyglot.
Spanish. Well, yeah, I mean that's what happens when you again. You grow up with all the media. All the media in Sweden is in English. We
Ah.
consume a bunch of stuff from in English, really, on TV and on social media. So everyone in Sweden, because it's so culturally important
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
now for us, to be consuming things in English almost.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everyone speaks really good English here, so I learned
Ah.
a bunch of English from. It was one of the first languages I started getting a lot of input in. And of course, my
Mhm.
parents spoke to me in Arabic. And then, I
Oh.
live in Sweden, so obviously I'm going to learn Swedish. So I speak all three because of my parents, and then media for English,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
Swedish because of the country itself.
Hmm. Would you say, like comparing your English and your Swedish, would you say one is better than the other?
Oh, it's very funny. I'd say my English is most likely better, and the reason is because of how much, let's say, work I've done in English, how much
Mhm.
speaking and writing I've done, and also reading. All
Mm.
if you want the absolute most top quality information, you have to know English.
Mhm.
Our modern economy runs on English, especially in the West. I'd say. I think in the East, it's very dominated by Chinese as well, probably. So, and in Southeast Asia, for example. So I've consumed everything in English because I want what's most optimal. Obviously, I won't go looking for books in Swedish. I don't need to. I can just use English. So because of that, I've had far more input in
Mhm.
English as opposed to Swedish. So I'd say my vocabulary and the ease of creating sentences is far higher, and the academic level in general is far
Mhm.
higher in English as opposed to Swedish, just because of exposure in general. But my
Mhm.
Swedish is still on an academic level, so it's not
I
something.
see. I see. Both are good.
Of course, of course.
Let's see. So in our previous conversation, you mentioned that I guess you're traveling to somewhere else tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, can you talk about where you're going?
I'm going to El Salvador, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 13th North Latitude, country of freedom. It's
Mhm.
safer than Sweden even. It's wonderful. And I can't have good vitamin D levels here, but I can over there.
Mhm. Are you going to be living there?
um, we'll see, we'll see. But there is a high probability of that being the case. Yes.
I mean, like this time, is it just traveling, or you're like moving there?
Well, I can never say for sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, but because you never know what comes up. But I
Mhm.
I plan on being there for a longer period of time. That I can certainly say this
I
time.
see. I see. So you don't even know how long you're going to stay there for.
Not necessarily, no.
I see. I want to guess your height and your age, stuff like that. Have you
Go
revealed
ahead.
this before?
Nah, never done with this before.
Really? Wow.
Uh,
So I got this like confidential information, I guess.
yeah, I mean, if you look through my comments, sometimes you'll have
Ah,
people asking, and so you might have seen the answer there. But if you don't, then you don't. Go ahead.
I see. Would you say you're tall?
No,
Okay.
no.
I guess
I can
you're,
tell you. I'll
but
give you my parents. You want my parents' heights first?
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So my father is 169 centimeters, and my mother is 151 centimeters.
Okay.
So my mother is very short.
I see, I see. I guess you're between 165 to 170.
Correct.
Okay, so what's the answer?
166.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yes.
And when it comes to your age, I guess you're like, I don't know, maybe 20 or something.
Oh wow, you guessed younger. Usually people guess older,
Oh,
but that's good. Thank you. I'll be 23 this year, so I'm
ah,
22 currently.
sounds good. Nice. Is there any other basic information about yourself that you would like to share with people that are listening?
Basic information. I mean, what isn't already out there, my friend, on the channel? But for people listening, I really can't think of anything except I'll just throw this out. Central banks are bad.
No,
Study
what
Austrian.
the?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Austrian
not basic
economics.
at all.
Study Austrian economics. Again, we're being enslaved through the monetary system. That's
Interesting.
something
Nice,
I can
nice, nice.
say.
Nice. That's funny. Do you think having long hair is healthy?
Having, I guess, well, I guess if you can't grow long hair, there is some kind of issue going on. That's one. In terms of having long hair, I mean, it's very hard to say. It's very hard to
Mm-hmm.
say. I know that wherever melanin is, there is energy harvesting going on, but I'm not completely sure if the hair itself has that property. So maybe longer hair would mean more melanin over hair, which means you can absorb more light, but then also you're not getting it on the skin because you're covering the
Mm-hmm.
skin
Mm-hmm.
with the hair. So I guess it depends. It really depends. I think perhaps if you live in a country where the sun is really strong, if you have a cooler brain, the brain works more efficiently because it's ultimately we're a big fat semiconductor, well, a hydrated carbon-based semiconductor. Uh, and so I guess if you have hair that can sort of absorb and reflect the sun, because I always, during the summer, I touch my hair and it's really hot, but then I feel
Mm-hmm.
cool. So it seems
Mm-hmm.
to be directing the heat away from the
Mm,
brain. So if it keeps your brain cooler in hotter environments, then yes, I think having long hair would be healthier. But again, I guess it's context dependent.
interesting. Can you talk about why you choose to have long hair?
Wouldn't say. I think I have medium long hair. For me, I
Uh-huh.
just think I look better this way.
Ah, I
What
see.
what you
What
can
about
what you
beard?
may what you oh beard? Yeah, I mean this is just so that I look more like I do on my passport. Usually, usually I have a shorter beard. Um, I like a stubble, but
Mm,
this is also to protect me from the artificial light when I'm going through the airport. This also helps with that as well, and I mean, just in terms of face analysis, for me, just because of my mother, I guess I have a face that's a bit longer due to my forehead, and so this helps balance everything out.
mm, I see. Interesting. Alright, let's talk a little bit about your dietary journey. Can you talk about what you were eating growing up?
Oh, it just mainly a lot of rice, a lot of stews,
Mm-hmm.
zucchini with meat, pasta as well. There was always meat, but there was always some kind of starch, vegetables, etc. I ate lots of cake and candy and
Oh.
chocolate, as all other kids usually did. It wasn't a upbringing where I got a lot of nutritious. I think the only thing that saved me, I mean, my sister's teeth are completely messed up. If you look at mine, they're
Mm.
fairly straight. I have fairly good dental arches. They're not perfect, but they're fairly good. I think what saved me nutrition wise was eggs. I ate a lot of
Oh.
eggs at, at breakfast. My parents always gave me eggs. So I always got the fat soluble nutrients that way. I also consumed a lot of dairy because it's just standard to consume a lot of dairy in this country. Cheese and milk, more specifically, it's very common in Northern Europe. So a lot of that, although it wasn't the best quality, still even the low quality stuff in this country is beats any U.S. thing by a mile because it's Sweden we're talking about, not some other country.
Mm,
Our cows are
interesting.
even though it's not organic, they're still out in the field every single day, and then the organic one you can just imagine. So I mean, yeah, you had that up until 13. Then at 13, I started cleaning things up a bit, less junk food, removed sugar completely, like added sugar. So
Mm-hmm.
not all forms of sugar.
Let me
Then
stop you here.
came, yes.
You think your sister didn't eat as many eggs as you used to do?
Oh no, she didn't eat as many eggs. I think
Mm,
also the main problem is usually well, some people say that the first child usually gets the problems and the last child as well. In my case, this wasn't the case. So I think my mother gave me all of her life force, and my
mm-hmm.
sister didn't get as much. My sister is actually autistic.
Mm,
Her brain doesn't work as well. And so you also see, okay, so something's going on with the brain, and then the teeth were completely messed up. For me, I mean, I think my brain works fine at least. And then my teeth are more straight, way more straight than hers. And my face is also wider, and I've developed better. But then in comparison to my father, for example, I don't have his skull. His skull is like much bigger and wider. But then again, he told me wait until 28. I didn't look like this when I was 22. um, uh,
So, what do you think is the reason your sister didn't eat that many eggs?
well, autism, really. I mean, if you know anything about autism, you know that they're very, let's say, picky with food. And so it was
Mm,
very hard to introduce new things into her diet. And autistic people, if you know anything about their microbiome, they have a microbiome that's simplified, and that makes them crave more carbohydrate rich foods, less
oh,
protein, less fat. And so naturally, she's going to reject most things that aren't starchy or sugary. That's one. And then two, I guess she grew up around more technology than me. That has a
mm,
massive effect because it's not just nutrition, it's what kind of
mm,
light you have around that massively influences the bone structure and especially the teeth because these are a part of your skeletal system as well. And so, for example, children who are under artificial light as opposed to outside, they have way more cavities. There have been many studies done on this. You also find this
mm,
in the book Health and Light by John Ott. So just being in the sun develops your face far better. So I think I was outside more. That's one. I think I
mm,
didn't grow up. Well, I was 8 when the iPhone 4 came out, I believe. So I didn't grow up with a smartphone or an iPad in front of me. She sort of did.
Do you still have all your teeth?
Yeah, I have all my teeth.
Nice. Fist bump. It's rare nowadays, I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've also been aware of the problems with orthodontics, so I would never, even if someone told me to remove a wisdom tooth or whatever, which is, what they do automatically in the US, not so popular in Europe. I would I would not tell them nice things, or although I'll probably
Uh,
kindly decline.
when did you start realizing this problem? I mean, like, messing with your teeth is not going to be a good idea because most people are not aware of this.
mm, I guess when I stumbled upon Mike Mew and his work, you see,
Uh,
mewing became very
when did you come
popular.
across that?
2018, actually. It was a friend who wrote
Uh,
about it. So I was
sounds good.
way earlier than most people. I had
Sounds good.
studied all
That's
this
awesome.
stuff. I studied all his video very early on,
Mm,
before actually delving into this. And then I started understanding, oh, okay, dental arches, intermolar width, okay, the
mm.
position of the maxilla. I didn't even know the maxilla existed. And because of him, I can tell you ramus, mandible, maxilla, zygomatic bones,
Nice.
orbital bones. Like I know all these names because I did the studying back then.
Mm-hmm.
So then I understood, okay, so the forward growth is achieved by having enough support from the muscles and also the tongue being also a muscle. Be resting at the roof of the mouth, allowing the maxilla to grow forward, opening up the airways, etc. And the reason why we get crowding of the teeth, well, one of the reasons why is because of poor tongue posture. You need the tongue to be there. You also need it to be there and to have enough space over here in general to have all the teeth. Why do we have crowding? Because there's not enough space, really. Um, so then I started thinking about my sister. Okay, now I understand why she has this problem. She's a mouth breathing, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you're mouth breathing, you won't have your tongue at the roof of your mouth. Ultimately, I don't think that is the ultimate cause. I think there
Mm,
are other things. Um, I think the environment plays a much larger role than the tongue itself. I think the environment is what would inform you to actually put your tongue at the roof of the mouth, really. And by environment, I also mean things like nutrition, because that's a part of your environment. And so the food
mm-hmm.
itself would encourage swallowing in a certain way. But no, so 2018, and now I'm even delving into this more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
into appliances, etc., and dental height, but that's a different story.
Do you know a channel called Jawhacks?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that guy, I guess he talks about how you can implant a device into your upper jaw and help it grow.
Oh yeah, that's what's it called? Like I can't remember. Palatal expander,
MSE?
probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think that doesn't solve the problem. I think
Ah,
currently, from what I'm seeing, something like a MyoBrace or a Revive or some kind of device that adds dental height and that doesn't lock the occlusion. I think that is what you'd need, really, to fix
okay.
both the dental arches and to achieve sort of remodeling of the face. That's the only thing I've seen that actually produces results based on testimonials.
So growing up, you just eat I guess, high carb, modern diet, and then
Yeah,
you said you started to lower your sugar intake. Why did you want to start working on your health?
I guess it comes back to me being fairly weak, small as a child, so I didn't have any advantage over the other boys in the class. And you start to realize subconsciously or consciously, depending on your age, that you're not at the top of the social hierarchy, and what you want is to be at the top of the social hierarchy. So I thought, what is it that is really respected in men? Well, muscles, strength. So that's what I need. So I started doing some research back then in 2013 about how to do that, and then I stumbled upon some article that said, "Oh, you need testosterone." So I looked up, okay, how do I increase testosterone? And I found that if you eat sugar, it lowers testosterone. It said stop eating added sugar. So I went, oh, okay. Well, I'm okay, so I can't do this anymore. And so then I just stopped with the sugar. And then that slowly led me on to discovering more and more things, sort of shifting into health, caring about it more, and ultimately that spiraled into where I am now.
So when you first came across that information, were you like 12 years old or something?
Yeah, 12, 13.
That's, I guess, relatively early, I guess.
Oh, of course.
I feel like most people that age, they are still pretty naive. They're not going to be thinking about that. I guess people start to care more about their looks at an older age, like 14 to 16. I don't know. That's just what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about jawlines even back in fourth, fifth grade. So when I was 10, 11. So I mean,
You
this
you mean
entire
with your
looks thing.
friends?
Yeah, I mean in general.
That's funny.
So yeah,
Interesting.
well, that's my generation. Again, I'm born 2002. The kids
Oh.
nowadays are even they know about a bunch of stuff at a very early age, and it's because of the internet stumbling upon a bunch of different things. Their information transfer is far higher. Ours was still, pretty high in way higher than previous generations, and so we got these concepts early.
Interesting. When did you go vegan?
This was September 2017, something like that, and then I ended it July 2019.
No, I see. Oh, so I guess when you first came across Mikey Mill's stuff, you were still eating a vegan diet.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and even
I
then it
wonder
did
what he
help.
thinks about
Well, yeah, I don't think he likes it.
that. Nice. And because I saw your interviews before, did you say you went vegan because of a guy called Vegan Gains?
Yes,
Oh, interesting. And then did your health start to decline after you went vegan?
of course, of course.
Oh.
Lots of bloating. The main thing was every single day in school. At sort of 12, I would build up this pressure in my intestines, and I would need to, well, fart and also go to the toilet to have a bowel movement. But then, I couldn't really. Having a number two in school was like out of the question. Because I didn't want anyone to hear, because a bunch of gases are gonna come out, so you don't want anyone to hear. Because then when I come out, they'll know it was me, and that was a big taboo. And so, luckily, I lived close by, so I got the idea of going back to my home. It was a 5-minute walk during lunch break, and then to have the bowel movement there. And then I'd literally have like a bunch of gas first, and then it would be probably 2 bowel movements within 1 hour, and then I'd feel fine. And that would be the case every single day. It's just a bunch of pain. Sometimes I had this bloating in the middle of some kind of test. I remember having sort of listening comprehension in English, a test, or was it an exam, something like that. And Jesus Christ, I was completely bloated, and I told my teacher afterward, if I don't do well on this, if I didn't do well, because I was obviously really good at English, so it would be unexpected of me to have answered anything incorrectly. I said if I had any incorrect answers, it was because I was bloated. I just want to tell you that. Luckily, I didn't. So
Okay.
that was the main thing. Yeah, and then also, yeah, acne, of course, because I destroyed my digestive system, had severe leaky gut, got a bunch of food intolerances, and with gut-brain axis issues, with gut issues, your brain is affected. So I think I got way more social anxiety in general.
Would you say the main reason you decided to go vegan was because you wanted to become more buff?
I think it was the main reason was rationality. I think because the arguments that, well, at the time, vegan gains laid out to my brain at that age were were coherent enough. Like there didn't seem to be any reason to eat animal foods, and so I thought,
Interesting.
okay, he's buff, he's vegan, no reason to eat animal foods. Okay, they're bad for me as well. Okay, well let me just not eat them then. And that's all it was really.
How long after you went vegan did you start to see that your health decline, if you can remember?
3 months, 3 4 months, something like that.
But I guess you were eating a vegan diet for about 2 years.
Yeah, totally.
So during that time, you didn't really correlate your health date
Not
with
at
your
all, not
diet.
at all. No, 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 no. The bloating, all of that, not at all. Just through one ear and then out the other, as we say in the Middle East.
You just like completely didn't think the problem came from your diet, I guess.
It didn't even occur to me, brother.
Interesting, interesting. And then what made you decide to switch to another diet?
Because I started realizing that because I got severe acne, from 2000, from October, no, August 2018 and forward, uh, to July 2019, I had horrible acne, like really bad. I was happy before because I said, oh, at least I don't have any acne on the cheeks. It was usually around the mouth and then some on the forehead. And suddenly, I mean, my cheeks got filled with acne, and I went, okay, there's something really wrong here. So I thought, okay, there's something going on. Then I started listening to Frank Tufano, and he started talking about the animal foods and this and that, and he laid out very, good arguments about why one should eat animal foods. And so I went, oh, well, maybe this is what I need to do. Funnily enough, I did it, and the acne reduced immediately.
Interesting. Well, did it take you a long time to come across this kind of alternative information? Because I feel like for a lot of people, when they want to find an answer, they just come across mainstream content. Did you think there was a bit of luck involved?
Well, it's hard to say it's luck. You have to realize I'm relentless in terms of knowing what is actually true in terms of a subject. Really relentless. So because of that, I don't just like even now. I've transcended the entire nutrition concept. I don't think it's the most important thing in terms of health even. What's most important is light water magnetism. If you look into Dr. Jack Kruse's work, that's really where you'll find it. Like light is more important in general because it affects us way more than food. Food is also light. Then that's not just it. I mean, I don't just stumble upon Jack Kruse and then go, oh, well, there's nothing to do. No, I've learned my lesson. Then I found Buteyko, then I find all this stuff about, let's say, biomechanics and sort of to the teeth, how to fix them, how to get perfect dental arches, etc. Just all of that, I just keep going from source
Mm-hmm.
to source. Once you're already in the game and you know sort of where to look, and you have sort of extensive knowledge about the health world, the health industry. I mean, I'm knees not knees deep. I'm completely submerged in it. Really, I've been submerged in it for a long time. I've been swimming in it for a long time. I know how to look up what is correct, um, and that's because obviously, first I look at the logic. I look at the results that other people have. I talk to people I know if they've done this specific thing, and then I do it myself. And then once I've done all of that, then I start speaking about it on my channel. So, but then if it didn't work, obviously it didn't work and we abandon. But usually I don't try things that don't work because I do
Mm-hmm.
enough research prior. So I'd say just to guide someone really, begin with Dr. Jack Kruse, Dr. Sarah Pugh, I'd say probably my channel as well. Begin there, and then you'll see a bunch of good stuff, and then you'll go from doctor to doctor, and then they'll talk about things about this guy, about that guy, and then you look them up, and then you branch out from there. But that's sort of the core I would build for someone to begin with.
Okay, I see. So, like, throughout your life, when do you think is the time where your health was at its lowest?
August 2018 to probably April 2018, something like that. Probably around December, January, February 2018 to 2019. That switch right there.
Okay. Would you say you are the healthiest you have ever been now?
Well, it's hard to say because when I was a baby, there was no damage whatsoever, really.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's hard to say. The real answer to that is I don't know.
Okay, okay.
I'd say that when I was in Central America a while ago, I'd say that was the healthiest I've ever felt. I think I'm healthier
Interesting.
over there than I am here. So I think soon that will be the case. In Sweden, not really. So I think I was a bit healthier a few months ago, but that's because of the environment I was in.
Can you talk about what do you think? Let me phrase my question again. So I want you to think about your health state at its lowest, and I guess your health state now. Can you talk about the differences between them, and what do you think contributed to your health state now?
One of the main things is worldview. Another thing is you have the mind space. I don't know if you've meditated and felt this, but there are certain experiences where you feel like your mind can expand, like in space, fivefold. I think my mind was a lot restricted back then. Now it's far wider and more expansive. Entire body is more relaxed. Entire experience is more relaxed. It's wider. It's just more clear. It's like it's like life was at 144p, and then you put it at 1080p now. That's one of the main differences, I'd say. See, my eyes, I see better, I hear better, my digestion is far better, my thinking is far better, my energy is far better, my skin looks a trillion times better. I think my entire outlook on life is different. The place I was at in life, the sort of how I defined success, where I am now, sort of the virtue as well. The virtues, honesty, patience, justice, endurance, persistence, charity, all those have changed drastically. And then how my body looked. I mean, now it's so much different, obviously. Um, just it can't even be described. It's like comparing two different galaxies, two different planets, like comparing Mars and Earth. It's just not the same thing. Um, Then I look back, and honestly, I'm grateful, because without that, there would be no drive to gain the knowledge necessary to perform the correct actions that actually would bring me here. And yeah, without that, I wouldn't be here. Each event, I guess, precedes the other, succeeds the other.
So you think the main reason was your low point that prompted you to start improving yourself? That's the main reason.
No, I was always on the path. It was just that you could say that health is this big fat forest. I was sort of going through the swamp instead of going on the road, going to the nicer part of the forest where health is actually found. I was thinking that that path was the right path. I was still interested in the forest. See, most people in modern society aren't interested in the forest. They don't even walk in it. They're just somewhere else, sort of in an office building, being completely drained of their energy. I was in the forest. The people who are in the forest in this analogy are the people who are health conscious. I was health conscious. I was doing things for my health. I wasn't eating any sugar, no McDonald's, nothing. Even during that period, I was super careful with everything. Super, just as strict as I am now, really. The only difference was sort of everything else that I was doing, my understanding of health in general. Not only what one should eat, but what is important in terms of health. Um, that's what I would say. And it's just the direction and the methodology of going through the forest that was wrong. Now now I'm jumping from tree to tree very easily.
Let me ask the question again. So, what do you think is the main thing that contributed to the fact that you're healthier now? Can you talk about more like, I guess, generally? Do you think it's diet or is
Standing on the shoulders of giants,
okay.
mainly. Well, it's because I learn from those who have come, who have done work, yeah, who have done the work in general. So I'd say the main two people I have to give. There are many people I need to give credit to, really. But if I had to just pick two, I guess the first one would be Argenis von der Planets. I think not for the reason people might think. You perhaps know what happened during 2020. If I had not known about his work, I might have succumbed to this thing right here, the thing in the arm. Yeah, because of him, I was able to avoid that, and he sort of changed a lot of paradigms for me. It's not just in terms of nutrition and the raw stuff and all of that. That's not even the most significant thing. I think the entire way of viewing human disease, although he was incorrect about many things, I think that then the way he made me think sort of opened up opened up a lot of opportunities. And then the person who has had the absolute biggest impact to bring me where I am now currently is Dr. Jack Kruse, obviously. No one is a better I have yet to see a health practitioner that is better than him. I think he's one of the smartest people on the planet. And yeah, he's done absolutely amazing things for my health and other people as well.
If someone wants to know more about what Dr. Jack Kruse has to offer, where will you recommend them to go to?
Oh, okay. I guess, well, first of all, I think my two interviews I did with him, I've done quite a lot of talking, yeah, talking to him, but mainly through listening, mainly through those podcasts. So those two really good. Then he has a bunch of podcasts. I mean, he has done so many interviews. Just watching all that, looking up all the things you don't understand, reading the books he recommends. And then he has a book called The Epipaleo RX. That's fantastic as well. Reading that, fantastic book, really. He has a website called jackkruse.com where he has a bunch of free blogs that anyone can read. That's that is something I would recommend that everyone do. I think those are the main things, really. Then, of course, he has a Patreon. He also has a membership site, but those are the paid things.
I feel like Dr. Jack Kruse should give you some promotion fee.
Well, he doesn't need to. He's already given me the greatest of gifts.
Awesome. Did you go to college?
No, no. I was supposed to go to medical school, but then it's actually very interesting. So, of course, I got accepted to one of the best. I mean, it was Umeå University's medical school. What you call program, I guess, medical school program. But I said no, and the reason was because this was 2021, and to do anything practical, you would need a certificate showing that you got this guy right here. And so, because of that, I said, I'm not going to medical school. I'm not doing anything that requires me to get that guy. Absolutely not. You can forget about that. And so, I also realized that I don't want to trade time for money. And even if I'm a doctor, it doesn't matter how much I earn every hour. If I need to work 40 to 60 hours per week under someone else's rule set, I will not do that. Absolutely not. So I decided to go this route instead of, having an online presence, helping people that way. And so far, I've been, I'd say, very successful in changing the lives of many people, which makes me very, very grateful.
So when you first started posting online, did you already graduate from high school?
No, no, no. I was posting during my second year, so I began the channel in April 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. Well, I should say pandemic. But then that was just, videos here and there. It was just a little hobby, nothing special. Then after 2020, April 2022, when I started taking it seriously, I started posting content that I thought was, going to appeal to a larger audience. I tried to improve my videos with each upload. And then slowly it turned into, what I'm doing today. Now the quality is sort of up to YouTube standards, I'd say.
I see. When did you start to want to treat your YouTube channel as a business?
I don't just treat it as a, well, technically it is. It fits the definition of what a business would be. But it's not just a business. It's a vehicle to make the world a better place. And so you have to think about, because what does a business do? It generates money. But what is that money essentially? It is you delivering value. So the main principle here is the delivery of value, the changing of lives. And then the second principle, what flows out of that, is money. I guess when I saw that I'm able to help people, but I also need to put food on the table, I started thinking of ways that I could contribute to others, but take payment in return, which is, you go to a grocery store, you go to the farmer who sells raw milk, or sells meat. Of course, you pay him. You can also sell information, and that's what I decided to do, because I think I thought I had a lot of great information back then. Honestly, it wasn't that great. I think it's far better now. Still better than most of what's there on the internet, even back then. And then I just tried to find better ways of doing that. That's all.
I see.
But yeah, I was forced into that situation, really. And just to answer your question really well, April 2022, when I started taking it seriously.
I see. Okay. Can you talk about how do you source your food?
It's interesting. Wherever I can find high quality. That's really the case. So butcher stores, even grocery stores, supermarkets, they can have. Here's the thing: if it comes from a high quality farm, but it's found in a supermarket, that doesn't matter. It's still from the high quality farm. It's still from high quality animals. Of course, if you just go straight to the farm, that's better. But I don't have many farms nearby, really. The one that's nearest is like 25 minutes away by car, just to give you some perspective. So yeah, it just takes experience. It takes looking up on stuff on the internet. That's mainly it. Looking up farms on Google Maps, checking the grocery stores, checking the supermarkets, seeing if there are health food stores, um, recalling butcher stores as well. And so, just over the years, I've just established sources doing all that, just doing research. And so, for me, I have a really good supermarket nearby. Of course, since I'm in Sweden, they usually also try to get locally produced stuff in there as well, even though it's a supermarket. So there's a lot of great meat, a lot of great seafood in there as well. There's a bunch of wild caught seafood. I get all my stuff there, all my meat there really. Then I also have a butcher store. That's okay. Not all the meat from the supermarket. I get some meat there, and then the butcher store I get the fat from, the raw beef fat. Also get pork there as well. That's that's mainly it in terms of my diet. And then I order things like salt and seaweed from the internet.
Mm,
So
okay.
ordering stuff is also an option, of course.
Do you think your diet is expensive?
No, I don't think so. It's been the cheapest it's ever been. Really, raw beef fat is very cheap in my opinion, and mackerel is probably one of the cheapest types of meat you can buy in Sweden. It's way cheaper than anything. Beef is 2 to 3 to even 4 times more expensive than the mackerel. So actually, finding from eating frozen mackerel, finding the brand, and basing my diet off of it, that and beef fat, that has saved me tons of money. So no, it's not expensive. It's just, and it really depends on what you have access to. So no, it's not. I mean, if someone wants to go and buy raw butter, yeah, maybe it becomes expensive. The dairy in general, the dairy products, that's really what's most expensive. And then if you want this high quality steak or whatever, or this nicely cut, nicely marbled steak that you usually find in many places, yeah, okay, sure, then it becomes expensive, but you don't have to eat that way.
Can you talk about how much you spend a month on average, just to give the listeners some idea?
I guess $200 to $300.
Oh,
It
that
really
sounds pretty
depends,
cheap.
but yeah, it's not too much, shouldn't be too much. And I don't eat much either. That's the thing. Uh, when you're in an environment where you lose, where you optimize, when you optimize your environment in general, so that you're absorbing more energy from the environment and losing less to the environment, then you don't need to eat as much. So what
Interesting.
you do outside of your diet also is what influences your diet the most.
Do you live alone? Oh, I thought
No,
you
I
said
don't live
first.
alone. I know you can see my father there in the back.
That's
He
funny.
just woke up. Good morning, father. No, so I live with my parents, but I'm not gonna live with them as I'm traveling, as we spoke about earlier.
I see. So have you been just living with them for the past years?
Yeah, my entire life, yes.
Ah, interesting.
Very funny timing, because that's about to be cut off.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
So what do they eat? Your parents
What
or your sister?
what do they eat? Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess my father eats. He likes egg sandwiches, so he boils eggs every morning, and he has pretty good bread, and he just makes an egg sandwich really with cheese. That's really what he eats, and then for lunch, it's usually whole foods, usually some kind of meat. Um, he still eats rice. He hasn't quit the carbohydrates. Although you should really do that in Sweden. I think at lower latitude rice would be fine. But over here, shouldn't really do that. But some kind of rice, some fruit here and there. Unfortunately, he doesn't buy local. And then, I mean, I can't really remember. Sometimes tea, sometimes coffee. Then, yeah, he says with cardamom.
Tea with cardamom.
So that's really it for my father. Then my mother, she likes scrambled eggs with what's it called, with mushrooms. That's what she eats in the morning. And then, of course, no seed oils, just butter. And for my father, he usually uses olive oil. No seed oils in my house, of course. They're taught by Mr. J. And so, well, obviously, many of their choices are influenced by me. Many of their groceries are influenced by me. And then her lunch, I mean, it really varies. It really varies. But it's usually some whole foods in general. I mean, can be potatoes, fish, potatoes with fish, or potatoes with sort of meat. She likes salads. She makes many salads as well. Now for my sisters, I mean, she also eats the same breakfast as my mother usually. That or some kind of organic granola with full fat milk, organic full fat milk, low pasteurized and everything, non-homogenized. I've taught them which milk to buy, and then she her lunch is usually what my mother eats or what my father eats. It really depends because their cooking schedule is sort of all over the place.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's mainly it for my sister. She used to eat a lot of junk food, but
Hmm.
my parents have reduced that thanks to me. Well, obviously. I mean, I won't get them to eat raw meat. Not that I want them to eat raw meat. The main thing I want for them to do is be in the sun, because there's so little sun here in general. That's the main thing. The vitamin, like, nutrition can't fix your vitamin D levels. So that's, yeah.
Interesting. How would you rate your family's diet?
What I would rate it. I mean, I'm. Jesus Christ, that interesting question you're asking. It depends. I mean, what my mother and father eat, it's all very different. You see, everyone eats at a different time. That's really the case. So I guess for my father, I'd say it depends on if you're comparing to the standard American diet or my ideal. Which one should I
Yeah,
compare
I'm
to?
talking about your perspective,
My
according to your
ideal.
standard.
If it's my ideal, then father is like 5.5 out of 10, and then my mother is probably 4.5 out of 10. Sister is probably a 4.
What
Yeah.
about your own diet?
My own diet, I mean, obviously a 10 out of 10.
Ah, okay.
Because
Because I
it's
feel
fully
like,
lives up to my standards. I don't do anything in terms of my diet that wouldn't live up to my standards, really.
ah, okay. Because a thing that can happen to people is that maybe they have their standard, but they can access what they want, right? So that's not an issue for you.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I think the food access is very good in Sweden in general, so.
Ah, sounds good.
Except for dairy perhaps, but I don't even need dairy. So I guess I'd say yeah, 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
Nice, nice. Has your family tried raw meat before?
No, no, never.
Uh,
No, no, no.
uh,
I think the closest thing is when my father was in Morocco, he had some what's it called? It was liver. And usually, we in the Middle East they tend to cook everything, but in Morocco they knew that you shouldn't cook liver too much. It actually loses its flavor, its sweetness. So they barbecued it, but very little, just the surface, and then it was sort of raw on the inside. And my father had that, and he said, I think he said it was the best liver he's ever had. And so then I mean, it's obvious why. So I guess that's the closest thing he's had to raw meat. And then they've had sushi once. I believe they've had sushi once, and so they had some raw fish. I think my mother used to eat something we call gravad lax. So that's basically raw salmon that's been smoked, cured, I believe, as well. So she used to have a lot of that. So yeah, raw fish, raw fish. For my father, semi raw liver. That's all really, nothing else.
so it sounds like it's relatively common for people in your country to eat some sort of raw fish.
Yeah, I mean we have something called sil, which is herring, raw herring, pickled herring.
Oh, I see. I
And
see.
that is something everyone eats. I think in Easter and also during Christmas. So yeah, it is very common in my country. Also, we have something called surströmming, which you might be, but you might know about it, um, which is fermented herring as well. So that's
Okay.
really stinky raw fish, and people on the internet do challenges with that where they try to eat it, and you see people being absolutely disgusted. I haven't tried it, me personally, but it is something that people, especially the older generation, does consume here.
Can you say again what that's called?
Surströmming. If you want, I can write it in the chat.
I guess I know what that is because that's like something people like to use for videos. They like to
Yes,
try that and make
yes,
videos.
yes,
Interesting.
exactly.
What's your thought on that food? Do you think that's healthy?
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's in a metal it's in a tin
Ah,
can, really. So because of that, there's metal leaching into it, and I don't like that. I'd say if it came in glass and it was kept in the dark, and I haven't even read the ingredients. I don't know if they put any kind of preservatives in there or not. But as long as it's just the fish, perhaps salt, high quality water, and they do it in glass, then I would try it. I would have no problems. But it's just the packaging and perhaps the other ingredients as well. That is the problem.
sounds good. Let's see. So, what does your family think about your diet?
It's changed over the years. Obviously, they thought I was crazy in the beginning, and they had a lot of things to say about it. But then, as time went on, and I didn't get sick, they they started accepting it. They also saw that I felt really good on it, and I was not having any issues, and I really needed to eat this way. Well, at least that's what I thought. I think my problem would have been fixed far quicker doing other things. But just looking at it from just a pure nutrition lens at the time, I felt best just eating raw. And so as the years went by and I didn't get any issues and I just improved really, they had less and less to say until, I mean, now they don't even say anything about it. So what they think is, I guess they think that it's doable. They think that it's healthy, but they probably won't tell me that.
Okay, makes sense. Do you think your family is healthy? I don't know if you can talk
If
about
we
that now.
include if we look at my family and we include me in the mix, then yeah, I sort of bring them up quite a lot. But them, I think they're way more health conscious than the average person because of me, and so they made a lot of good decisions. However, they made one very bad decision during 2020.
Ah,
Yeah, two actually, two very bad decisions. They made one decision and then they made the other decision. So because of that, I can't say that they're healthy. Not really,
ah,
but I can say that. I mean, here, okay, so here's the analysis. My sister obviously has a bunch of skin issues, bunch of gut-brain axis issues. It's very clear. My father has a bunch of musculoskeletal problems. He also has keratoconus. My mother has early stages of neurodegeneration, in my opinion. But this is me being very, sort of nitpicky. This is my analysis. So because of that, I can't say that they're healthy. That wouldn't live up to my standards.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy do you think you are now?
Me right now, see, my starting point would then be that 10 is what I would be if I had grown up in nature, like with perfect, like a perfect environment, completely perfect environment. 200, let's say 500 years ago, outside all day, just perfect nutrition, perfect environment, everything. And we assume that I got my mitochondria from someone who did the same thing, because you get it from your mother. So my mother, and then she got it from her grandmother, or not her grandmother, but from my grandmother, her mother, and she also had perfect mitochondria. So if we assume that that scenario where everything is perfect is a 10, I'd have to say it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say, but between 5 and 6.
Mm, okay.
And not this is not how I subjectively feel about my health, by the way. This is just theoretically speaking, based on where I should be in terms of me as a biological organism, what state I should be in based on what I'm designed for. Because obviously, me and you are not designed for modern society. We're designed to be out in nature.
Let's see. Do you have any tips on teeth whitening? A little random.
I guess, well, first of all, brushing. That helps a lot. Two, I think oil pulling helps a lot of people as well. Three, I think if you use charcoal, that would help. Four, there is a toothpaste recipe on a channel called Bumblebee Apothecary, where she makes a nice blend. I believe she uses tea tree oil, coconut oil, calcium powder, some kind of other powder, I think magnesium powder, and xylitol. And all those ingredients are sort of acceptable. Nothing too bad, I'd say. Um, and yeah, that would whiten your teeth. Yeah. Otherwise, just charcoal, I guess, coconut oil, or just some oil pulling in general, and then brushing consistently. That's what I'd say. Also, another thing that I've noticed is if you take some kind of carrot or celery and you chew on that, that can sort of also clean your teeth and whiten them a bit.
Do you brush your teeth every day?
Yeah, yeah, I do. When I've
Oh,
finished my second meal, so I brush with a
okay.
boar bristle brush, and
Ah,
it's
that's
bamboo, and then the bristles are made of boar bristles, and they're that's great. No microplastics, nothing. Cleans my teeth really well.
I know some people they don't take a shower every day. What do you think about that?
Sorry, can you say that again?
So I know there are some people that they don't take showers every day. I guess they sometimes they don't take showers for many days. I don't really know the reason, but I just wonder what you think about that.
Um, I mean, it depends. See, for me, I don't necessarily like. I feel clean most of the time. I don't smell. At least no one tells me anything. And my family are pretty vocal about it. Should I smell? So, and they haven't said anything in a long time. I shower mainly for the physiological effects of the water itself, especially the temperature change. So I might take a cold shower to have certain effects. I might take a warmer shower to have certain effects. Mainly shower for those reasons. It resets my brain. I feel um, sort of makes me more productive. Actually, that also cleans me at the same time. But that's sort of just a consequence of it. It's not the reason why I'm doing it. If someone feels like they don't necessarily need that reset, or they don't feel any benefit from showering with, taking a cold or a hot shower, perhaps, um, and they feel clean, they haven't done anything that would soil them, perhaps make them sweat a lot, yeah, then I don't think they necessarily need to shower. So it's really context dependent, as always.
That's fair. Let's see. Have you been nearsighted before?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mainly caused by glasses, actually. So this eye is worse than this, but of course, I'm slowly fixing that. So yes, answer is yes.
So, did you say your eyesight is okay now?
Well, it's getting better. It's getting better.
Ah. But you don't wear glasses now?
No.
Oh, interesting. So, what do you think are some tips when it comes to improving eyesight?
I mean, I could tell you the entire eyesight story if you want to.
Okay.
Your
Go ahead.
eyes require, you have the visual environment and you have the light environment. So visual environment I define as sort of what you have around you, what distances everything around you are at, you could say. That's one. And two, you've got the light environment, which are the light frequencies and the intensity that your eyes are receiving. Now, it turns out that your eye needs certain light frequencies, right? Certain light frequencies, especially those we get from artificial light, blue light, they change the dopamine in the eye. Dopamine controls muscle fiber type. What happens is that you get axial elongation. You get elongation of the eye, and this causes myopia. Now, the light frequencies need to be correct. That needs to be the case. You need to get UV and infrared in the eyes. That is the case. Otherwise, we wouldn't have photoreceptors, especially for UV. Some people say, oh, UV is bad for the eyes, it causes cataracts. That is complete BS. You have something called neuropsin in the eye. That's a UVA photoreceptor, which means that nature has designed you to receive UVA in the eyes. That's 100% the case. So you need UV. And also, you just need the sun's blend of colors, frequencies of light in general. Once you stray away from nature's design, you get issues in the eyes. That is 100% the case. And people live inside nowadays under artificial light. So you might see where the issue is now. You might see why they have so much myopia in Asia, because you guys are tech abusers. You stay inside a lot, on the computer. You don't live outdoor lifestyles usually in the cities. Another thing is the visual environment. When you look at something up close, try this with me. Put your hand in front of you, okay? And now stare at your fingers, and now look far away, or further away. Now stare at your fingers again. What's happening there is that when you're focusing close up, you're contracting the ciliary muscle. So as you can see, your eyes were more contracted when you looked up close, right? And when you looked far away, your eyes relaxed. You relax the ciliary muscle. So what can happen is that you get a ciliary spasm. So if you've worked on the computer for a long time, you might notice afterward that your eyes are worse, that you can't see as well. That's because your ciliary muscle has spasmed, and so when you look farther away, it's still spasming. It's not relaxing so that you can look far away. Now, if you continue doing this and you never let your ciliary muscle relax, you get near-induced transient myopia. So near-induced, meaning that it was created by you viewing something up close. Transient myopia, temporary myopia, temporary short-sightedness. So then, now, you can't see well because you have this spasm. And so you continue to be on the computer. You continue to be on the computer and your eye never rests. And your vision has gotten worse. And you don't know that if you just take a break from the computer for a few days, you'll return to normal. But you think there's something wrong with your eyes. You can't see well. So you say, oh, I need to go to the optometrist. I need to get glasses. So you get glasses. And now you changed where the light hits the lens of the eye. And so what does that cause? That causes the eye to adapt to this change of the light that's coming in, which causes even further axial elongation. Not only are you getting it from the light now, because you're changing how dopamine and melatonin work in the eye, you're also getting it because of the glasses. So you're getting even more axial elongation, so your eyes just get worse and worse and worse and worse. So again, how would you then fix this? Take off your goddamn glasses and go outside and stop abusing tech. That's why isolated and primitive tribes don't have any eyesight issues. They don't wear glasses, and they maintain their vision, perfect vision, until old age. Why? Because they don't view things up close all day. They are outside all day, and they are always under the sun, which is perfect, which our eyes are designed for. Our eyes are not designed for artificial light. Although you can see, your eyes are suffering. Actually, all the cells in your body are suffering because light through the eyes controls the entire organism. So that's the eyesight story. That's why people in modern society have eyesight issues. Any questions?
I actually kind of know about this. Yeah, I just wanted to hear your insights.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. The insight is just to go outside
nice.
and to not view things up
Do
close.
you know? Do you know how nearsighted you were before?
Mm, not sure. Not sure. I just know that it
Okay.
hasn't gotten a lot worse during the last few years because I've been outside a lot, taking care of
So
these kinds of things.
one day you just decided to throw away your glasses.
Oh yeah, this was in ninth grade. Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I just said, why am I wearing these? It's just zero here and then half a diopter here, which is actually what
Mm-hmm.
messed up this eye. So I just removed
Oh.
them. Now it's worse than just half a diopter, but it's still fine. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
getting better.
Okay. Do you try to spend less time looking at screens?
Yeah, of course. I mean, my screen right
Oh.
now is sort of not only that. I do it outside usually. Now I have to be
Oh, nice.
inside, but I usually do it outside again because of circumstances. But I do it outside, and I do it with a red screen. And so,
Mm.
in terms of artificial light, this is artificial light that doesn't mess up the eye. You see, or just not as much, you could say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. That's
Okay.
how you do
So.
it. Also, you have e-ink screens as well. Those don't emit any light. They actually just
Mm-hmm.
reflect light like a paper. So you can use that outside in the sun perfectly well.
So you think any amount of blue light is bad?
Of course,
Mm. Okay.
100%. Or well, not from the sun. If it's from the sun, I'm completely fine with it. But if it's from artificial light sources, I think it's an issue.
Do you do sun gazing?
Well, it's not. I think here's the thing. What people don't realize is if you're outside, you're doing sun gazing all the time because light is entering your eyes, and the only light that should be outside is the light of the sun. So you're getting the sun's light in your eyes all the time. It's just that when you're sun gazing, you're getting it at a far higher intensity. Now, in my opinion, that's a bit too intense unless it's sunrise or sunset. So what you do is you look, you know, you know how sometimes you're walking, probably during summer. Well, no, it can be any season really. It really depends on where you live. You're walking in the direction of the sun, where the sun is at, and you're sort of doing this. You're squinting, but not too much. You want to have relaxed eyes still, even in that situation. And you're looking straight forward, but the sun is like up here. So you're still getting a lot of light on your face, but you're not staring directly at the sun. You could say that I do that a lot. Yes, that is what I do a lot. I don't look directly at the sun, but I look sort of at a degree that is comfortable, but still
And
getting a lot of light in my eyes. So yes,
what?
and
Why do you do that?
I
Aside
do
from
that.
just being outside.
I do that because the light goes through the eyes and has massive effects on the brain. It also
You
has
just
massive
want to.
effects on the eyes as well.
You want more sunlight to get into your eyes.
Yes, yes, the eyes need light.
Okay, I see. Okay. So you kind of went over that already, but do you have some other tips when it comes to sun gazing? If someone wants to get into that.
Um, do it at sunrise. Do it at sunset. That's very important. That light is like. See, here's the thing. You can hurt yourself quite badly doing this. Okay, seriously. Again, I don't stare at the sun directly. Never. Just don't stare at the sun. Don't do that. Stare to the side. Make it comfortable. If you want to stare directly, make sure it's at sunrise or sunset and the sun isn't a ball. It's half a ball. It isn't the full thing. It's not as much power coming straight at your eyes. So be in the sun, and look sort of at an angle that's comfortable. That's what I'd say. But don't look straight at it. Just exactly, like if anyone remembers a summer day when they're going in the direction of the sun and they're sort of squinting, that's exactly what you should be doing. I mean, no one is looking at the sun at that point, but they're getting tons of light in the eyes. That's
Yes.
exactly what you want.
Okay, this next question is pretty funny. Do you sun your balls?
If I have the opportunity, yes. I mean, obviously, it's well, here's
So
well
you
here.
have done this.
Yeah, of course.
Ah,
Well,
nice.
it's look. If you sunbathe naked, obviously your testicles are going to get sunlight. I mean, they're there. Unless they're tiny, but mine aren't. So I don't have any problems in terms of that. So yes, I mean we're designed to get light everywhere. So obviously, whenever I have the opportunity to sunbathe naked, I will do that because all my skin needs light, and so that includes the testicles.
Nice. Wow, you are very good at phrasing all this.
Yeah, well, this is the truth. That's all.
Do you think it's ideal to get as much sunlight as possible?
Yes, especially in the
Oh,
morning and
okay.
evening. I'd say some people need to be careful. Like you don't want to overdo it, but you should go on the journey of building up your sun tolerance, and at some point you will be able to be in the sun all day. It takes a while though, but there is a way to do it for humans, even if you're fair skinned.
Let's see. What do you think is the most interesting raw food you have tried?
Most interesting, I'd say brain, to be
Oh,
honest.
nice. What animal?
It was lamb brain. So I ate two lamb brains. I've only done it once actually, and it was very interesting. It felt, obviously you're eating an animal that gave its life to you, and so I always thank the food before I eat it. I thank the animal for giving me life, and I try to live in a way that honors their sacrifice, because I take on their energy, and so I need to do something useful with their sacrifice. Otherwise, it's not, it's just a bad cycle, really. Um, I usually you don't feel like it's the essence of the animal you're eating when you're eating the food. But when I ate the brain, I felt like it really was the essence of the lamb. It was sort of more so eating the lamb itself as opposed to just when I'm eating the meat. That's a bit vague, I understand maybe, but that's how it felt to me at least. So it was a very interesting experience, I must say. It was very special.
Interesting.
Otherwise, tripe is interesting.
What did you say?
I said tripe is interesting. I said otherwise tripe is interesting.
Oh, okay, okay. You mean like that's a
So
part of an animal, right?
yeah, stomach lining.
You eat that raw
Yeah, I did it in Costa Rica.
because that's that feels tough.
Oh, it was
Is that
easy. It was actually pretty easy.
also
Nothing
it's
too
actually
difficult.
soft?
Yeah, it was pretty soft.
Interesting, interesting. Nice. So when you got the lamb brains, did you need to open the skull or you just got the
No,
brain
I just
itself?
got the brain. I just got the brain.
Ah, interesting. Nice. Let's see. What's one food you haven't tried yet, but you would like to try one day?
Probably not one specific food, but the seafood in Japan. I've heard that it's really, really good there. I just want to try a bunch of their stuff, really. Like those
Nice.
fat tuna steaks and raw, of course, their jumbo oysters. They probably have a bunch of shrimp as well. All that. I'd like to try all that. I've heard that is really, really good.
Nice. Have you tried high meat?
Not, well, sort of, yes. I'd say
Oh,
accidentally fermented liver for a month. But no, I don't go out of my way to do it. I've never really. I mean, you see, when you live with people, you don't want to risk stinking up the house. I mean,
I
because
see.
they'd really get angry if I did that. So and hassle really, sourcing it, making sure there's no pollution whatsoever, and then using an appropriate glass jar. I've just steered away from it. I haven't been interested in making it. Some people do. That's fine. I don't like whenever I've eaten the liver that's a bit stinky. It hasn't given me any effect, really. And it's just because I was storing it in the fridge and eating small pieces every day, and so yeah, it got stinky at the end of me finishing it. So that's that. But again, no special effect. It was just like any other probiotic, really. Then again, it was only 1 month. People sometimes say that you need to ferment it for 6 months, a year, etc.
What do you think about this food in general? Do you think it's healthy?
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with it. I mean, the Inuit have a dish called kiviak where they bury birds underground for months in seal skins, and then during ceremonies, usually weddings, I believe, they dig it up, and then it's just this juice of fermented birds, really, like stinky fermented birds, and they eat that raw. And so this is commonly found in primitive and isolated tribes, and I think it's just a way of preparing food, really, a way of storing food that they've found as well. So I don't think there's any issue with it.
What have your days been looking like recently?
That's interesting. Well, wake up at sunrise, wash my face with cold water usually, and then go outside. Can't I want to go outside, take a walk, but my father sleeps at the bottom floor, so I can't really do that without waking him up. So I go out in the balcony instead, which is on the second floor, and I stay there for like 20 minutes, just getting sun, stretching a bit, sometimes doing a bit of shadow boxing. I like boxing. Um, yeah, and then I go inside, have my breakfast, and then I begin working. I just answer the questions in my community usually. And then I look at whatever else I have on my list that I need to do, and then I do that. And then once I'm finished, which is usually around 8 or 9 p.m. No, not p.m. a.m. I go outside because usually my father wakes up at that time as well. So it's a good opportunity to go outside, take a walk, just get sun, some grounding as well, which I wish I could do in the morning, like when I wake up. But again, circumstances. And so I do that. Bring my phone with me. Usually, I listen to something. Currently, it's about again economics, economics. And that's why I mentioned the thing about central banks because it's really disgusting. The entire this just like once you dig into the system, it's really disgusting. I mean, Jesus Christ, uh, like the money we're currently using, Jesus, the corruption is insane. That's all I'm telling you. But then I might have a consultation during the day. Depends on if I have a consultation that day. I might have an interview. I mean, I'm doing one now. It began at 8 a.m. Sometimes I do that. I have 3 calls with my members, so it depends on if it's a Tuesday, Friday, or a Sunday, and those are at 5 p.m., 5 p.m., 3 p.m. So I that's usually a part of my day, 3 days out of the week, and then you know then maybe I take another walk, listen to more stuff, read, maybe do some more work, but then eventually, as we hit 7 p.m., I try to just listen to stuff, um, relax my brain a bit, and then I go to sleep at 8.
Well, nice.
And that's literally every single day. I don't really do anything else. Sometimes I go out with my friend, but that's all.
Okay. What do your friends eat?
It depends. I have some that eat raw meat. I have some that don't
Oh,
eat raw meat. But I have no
okay.
friend that is a vegan or anything like that, no.
Okay. So, are you single?
I am single, yes.
Okay. Let's see. Have you had a girlfriend?
I have not. I have not. I mean, I've been. It's very interesting how life has went. I think I could have had one several times actually. I think, but my brain went in other directions, not with that person, but usually either another person or just another direction entirely in life. So it's just for me. I've always known about the influence that women have on men, and I think I've understood that having another person in your circle is really, it affects you a lot. It affects your life a lot. I mean, we know how much a relationship can affect someone, and I really don't like interference when it comes to the things I do during the day. I am very careful about my time. So, and I've known this ever since I was 15, so I've been opposed to the idea in general. I've also been influenced by, you know, um, let's say historical texts that relating to chastity, semen retention, for example. So all of that has sort of led me to not go in that direction in general, I'd say. And then also another thing is that my criteria on myself are strict, and so obviously the criteria I put on a potential partner are also very strict, which would mean that most girls nowadays aren't eligible. So again, those are some of the reasons why. And again, if you're persistent, you'll get a person who is very compatible. But if you take the first choice that comes up, you won't have what you want. Beggars can't be choosers, and I'm certainly not a beggar.
Have you talked about this on your channel?
No, because my channel
Oh,
is
okay.
related to health, and this is mostly related about me.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. So, in your opinion, what makes a girl attractive?
Well, well, it's hard to say, because initially, obviously, the way she looks, but then I'll speak to her. I'll get to know things about her history. I'll get to know things. I'll get to see her actions. I get to see her honesty. Get to see her commitment. I get to see what type of person she is. Get to know how her brain works. I get to know all of that. Like in such situations, I'm not really focused here or this and that. I'm really focused on the other person, what's going on with them, and so I'll listen. And then that can either be attractive or it can be a deal breaker. You have to understand, even if it's a 10 out of 10, if she has gotten two of these, I cannot for the life of me have children with her. I can't start a family because you see, what I might think about her, that's not important. How my children are going to be affected, that is what's important. Most men think about what they want. I don't have I don't have any children, but the way I think is, how are my children going to be affected if I pick her as the mother?
Hmm.
That is really what I'm thinking about.
Are there some personality traits you look for?
Yes, the overall level of virtuous character in general. I don't know if you could say that that's a personality trait per se. I'd say being a conscious person that understands what's happening internally, doesn't have emotional reactions, isn't immature, isn't narcissistic or anything, obviously. Um, just isn't a person that's negative or creates a lot of trauma. In terms of virtue, again, what I'm really looking at is honesty and a sense of prioritizing what's true over beliefs and emotions and all of that. And that means, again, honesty.
Would you get into a relationship with a girl that has a high body count?
No, not at all. Because that automatically entails that this virtuous character that I speak of is not there. That must be the case. And usually you'd have to be put in the situation where you can, well, have this high body count, let's say, and usually those kinds of girls are not as health conscious. They will usually be people who are more, let's say, going out. So they'll be drinking, perhaps. Maybe they're smokers. Maybe they've done drugs. They definitely don't care about their circadian rhythm. I can tell you that. So because of all those things, she would be out of the question.
How high is too high?
How high is too high? 1.
Oh, you mean like she can only been with another guy before, or
No.
no
You
past?
said how high is too high. I told you 1.
Okay, I see, I see. But how are you going to figure that out?
I think I told you that honesty is very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
You can usually see if a person is honest or not. You'll see if that lines up or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if everything lines up, and I know that this person, through both the way they think and also their actions, is completely honest, if I can see that day to day this person has a pure heart, and you really can see that based on the decisions that they're making, I think if they tell you that, it's very plausible that it's the case.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
can I ever know? No, I can never know.
Mm-hmm. I see. Is there a girl in the diet and health space that's somewhat close to a girl you would be into?
No, and
Hmm.
not because they themselves, let's say, are the problem. Perhaps I'd say it's because I haven't spoken to them. I haven't met them. I don't know anything about them.
Hmm.
Usually,
You can't really know.
what you see on social media is not really what a person is. I haven't really seen these people in long form content. I think with me, you can perhaps, hopefully, people believe that I'm being as honest as I possibly can when I speak to you, when I speak to someone else. So for me, maybe you can create a picture of the way I think. But even then, let's say a girl did the same thing, I'd have to still get to know her to be
Mm-hmm.
able to give you an answer. But
Mm-hmm.
no, for me, it's very difficult to say these things as I don't just go off of physical attraction. You have to
I
be
see.
very smart in modern society about these things, and if you just go on physical attraction, that's a good way of ruining yourself.
Okay. Do you practice no fap?
Um, uh, yes, I must say yes. Yes, I
Okay.
would I would call it retention, but I mean,
Oh.
essentially, for it's they're technically synonyms. One is
Mm-hmm.
older than the other.
Mm-hmm. So what's your reason of doing that?
I've experimented a lot with it ever since 2017. Again, as I've spoken about this in earlier interviews, I believe, but most men, including me, got into this pretty early. I'm talking about men in modern society. Um, so I had a problem in that sense, ever since I got hooked at 10, 11. So ever since then, that's been a problem. But then 2017, I was able to break it for a month. And then after that, in close conjunction with the veganism stuff, I was able to, which is a bit ironic actually. I was able to get a long streak that I broke because it started. I wanted to break the vanity. At 16, I noticed that I had a sense of, was it 15 or 16? Well, I think 16. I got a sense of that I was being very vain about it, that I was deriving a sense of self from it, so I broke it so that I couldn't do that anymore. But then, since then it went on and off, like 2022, 2023, and then 2024, 2025 again. There have been good and bad periods, but it is something that is a cornerstone of what I do. I consider it very important, and the reason is because this is the reason why I said what I said earlier. Um, I've had a lot of experience with this stuff, and I've noticed that when I cut out both, when I retain, I feel a lot better in general, and
Mm-hmm.
things just flow much better in my life. So for me, it is very beneficial. That is what I have
Mm-hmm.
experienced on and on and on, or again and again and again, I should say. So that's why it's important. That's the motivation.
Mm-hmm. When you first started to post content online, what was your motivation?
Oh, that was interesting. So I was in high school, and obviously, even before that, everyone everyone knew that I talked a lot about health, left and
Mm-hmm.
right. So obviously, I had always thought of the idea of maybe instead of just sharing this in conversation, why not share it with the internet? So I'd always thought of creating a channel, perhaps. And so I thought, why don't I just begin?
Mm-hmm.
So it was again April 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, and I think I asked the class group chat because we were pretty tight knit as a class. I had a great class in high school, or upper secondary school as it's called in Sweden, and not in English, but the translation would be that equivalent of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, that's a great idea. And it was all also motivated by the fact that it was the pandemic, and health was extra important at that point, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of the current events, but because of people being inside a lot. So they said it was a good idea. I said, okay, I'll do it. I got
Nice.
positive feedback. So I made the video and posted it, and thought, yeah, okay, I have this video there, that video there. So then I just continued doing that, really.
Mm. I guess your motivation has probably changed over time. So can you talk more about that?
I mean, ultimately, if you think about what it was, if I think about what it was then and it is now, it's the same. I love this stuff. I love talking about it. It's absolutely wonderful. Like
Mm-hmm.
someone might think that doing this interview is work. No, this is just fun. This is very fun for me. Same thing with the calls. Same thing with the calls. I mean, when I do group calls with my community members, I don't know if I've told them this or not, but like I have a lot of fun doing that. I have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun answering questions. It's just the hour goes by super quickly. Um, so if you heard the burp, it came from my father, and he apologized. But in any case, in any case, and so that's the main motivation, really. That it's fun, but it's also mainly the main thing that's fun is helping people. Currently, the motivation is that I tell someone that this is the way you could perhaps fix this issue that you're having, and I tell them that, and they get fixed once they do the thing, and they come back to me and they say, "This worked. You were right. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful." And that is the greatest thing ever. And if you pursue the truth as a health practitioner and you tell people what they need to hear, that is what you're gonna hear. That's a sign that what you're doing is correct, and that I'm very happy about.
Mm.
So
Nice.
that I guess it's a combination of factors. Now, back then, it was just that I loved health. I still love health, but I also love helping people. And the more I love health, the more I do things with health, the more I learn about it, the more I'm able to hear the voices of happy people, the
Mm-hmm.
voices of people who have been freed, who have regained their birthright.
Do you have any suggestions for content creators that are dealing with haters?
Meditation. Yeah, meditation, and you have a strong sense of self. That's the problem. Someone is attacking me. Someone is doing this to me. I have this belief about myself. So what this person is writing, that's very bad for me. I am being destroyed by this comment. That is what's happening in the subconscious, really, because people maintain beliefs that they don't even know about. Like for example, one would be I am worthless if I am disrespected. And so someone would get, that's why you'd see a man get really, really angry about someone disrespecting them, punching someone, becoming really aggressive, or just writing a really, really bad reply if someone writes something bad. It's because they have this belief that they'll be annihilated if someone is disrespectful. If you remove that core belief from them, that ceases to be the case.
Hmm.
That really is the case. That's how people change. That's how people become free. They change all these things that they don't even know they themselves believe. But if they really dig into the core of it, that is really the case. So if you're having issues with haters, you're very centered right here. You should be centered out there. All this should be your center. Or actually, there should be no center. Everything should just flow through you like air. Well, air is best, but water would also be fine. So when someone writes something to me, all I think about is what kind of pain do you feel in your heart to behave in this kind of way? You have to be in pain to say something bad to someone else. When do people say bad things usually? When they're angry. Okay, and is that a, let's say, a peaceful, calm, pleasant state? No, absolutely not. It's an unwholesome state, if you want to use Buddhist terminology. It's a state of pain. So you see that, okay, so it stems from pain. It's all about what's happening in that person, really. That's all it's about. That's why they're saying these things, really. Um, so once you have that perspective, whenever someone writes anything to you, you know, okay, they feel pain. This is not about me. This is about them. And then again, if someone, a stranger, for example, is angry, this or that, you never know. They might have been having a really bad day. They might have just, you know, let's say their girlfriend just broke up with them or something. And then they, they're in pain, and so they might treat you really bad. And then maybe you treat someone bad. Someone has to break the chain. You have to break the chain through compassion. Again, all that I just told you now, that's, Siddhartha Gautama, that guy figured this out a few thousand years ago. And he tried telling people, and then they made their religion out of it. And some of what has been stored in that religion is very good. I wouldn't call it a religion. I would call it just a way of thinking about the human in general. So yeah, the way you get out of it, if you have this issue that I'm describing, is you analyze, you get into it, you analyze the present moment, you observe what's happening in the mind. Why do I want to respond in this angry way? Why am I getting sad by this comment? These are just squiggly lines on an LCD screen or an OLED screen. Why are these squiggly lines making me feel this way? That's really the case. Oh, it's because I'm interpreting it against a belief that I have about myself. Okay. And then ultimately you'll realize that, okay, is there a self to begin with? And then if you annihilate that illusion, then hate will not even exist because there's no one to hate in the first
Hmm.
place.
Interesting. Can you share the most frustrating moment you have had along your content creation journey?
Oh yeah, I guess the most, well, people don't know that it's sometimes difficult to record. I believe in the beginning, those first maybe 50 videos, every time I would record, like, it was difficult to record for me. I couldn't get many sentences out. In the beginning I could, but then I changed the video structure after April 2022, so it became a bit harder. But in the beginning, when I used to do everything in one take because I didn't like editing, I'd sit there and the frustration would just build up as you say something that you don't want to say, and then it flow well, so you just delete the video and you delete the video and then you delete the video, and you're sitting there and you're sweating, and you know your heart rate is up and you feel almost out of breath because of the heat in the room. And I think those are the most frustrating moments, but this is what you have to go through if you want to become someone who can speak in front of a camera. That's one. And then the second thing would be, if you look at the detoxification video that I made, because I made a certain comment about a certain disease in that video, which wasn't even, I mean, intended to say anything specific about that disease. It was talking about a certain person and their therapy, the existence of that. I wasn't promoting it or anything. Because of that clip, I got a strike on the channel. But then that was removed after, I believe it was 90 days. So thankfully the channel is clean now. But getting a strike because of that is completely ridiculous in my world. And so because of that, I don't like mentioning that specific disease, which begins with a C, to be more specific.
What will happen if you get a strike?
Oh, what happens is if you get one strike, then it's mostly a warning. If you get two strikes, I believe you get some penalties. You can't stream or do certain things. You get inhibited from that. If you get three strikes, your channel gets terminated, basically.
I see.
Yes. So a strike is always a very bad thing. You want 0 strikes, obviously.
Out of all the videos you have done, which one's your favorite?
Do we include the interviews or not?
I guess your own personal works.
There are many good ones. I have to say the acne video and the cold exposure video are two of my favorite ones. Especially the acne video because it has changed a lot of lives. I can tell you that because once you stumble upon it, you really understand your issue really well. I mean, the thing I get approached for the most is acne, and I'm really successful with it. That's the thing. And in modern society, you see people running to isotretinoin, while I'm mostly fixing young people without any, just completely naturally, obviously. And these are people usually that are already eating good diets, but they still have acne, actually. So it just takes a bit of fine tuning. But I'd say that video and the cold exposure video because for a long time, like the thing is, what's interesting about my audience is that I have a great audience, but some of them, like I just want them to realize that I am very careful about what I say on the channel. Like you can really trust me. I would never say something if I hadn't done very deep research into it. So I began talking about cold exposure on the channel, and there were many people who were opposed to it. And so I got criticism, and some people unsubscribed and went away. That's fine by me. I'm not really here for those people anyway. Then I dropped the cold exposure video, and it was sort of a little bit of a relief because I could finally tell people why it was healthy, why it's a good thing to be doing. Again, it's context dependent. It's not for everyone, but for most healthy people that don't have a recoupled mitochondria, so African ancestry, usually, they're gonna be fine doing it. It's not something that damages you. It does the opposite. And so many people sort of woke up from that video, and it's one of my better videos. It's one of the videos that I put. Well, I put effort into a lot of videos, but that one I put a lot of effort into it.
Nice. You can also talk about your favorite interview.
Oh, it's the first one with Jack
Maybe.
Kruse.
I mean,
Definitely.
like maybe where you are a guest. That's
Where I
not
am
your
a
own work.
guest. Where I am a guest.
Maybe like if people check out that interview, they can know a lot more about you.
Well, when it comes to knowing about me, they should probably watch this interview because your questions have been very centered around me, not necessarily health in general, although I've spoken about that a little bit. I think probably the one I did, either the second one I did with Sam Al Katan, which is on my channel, and also the one I did with Jawhacks Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
I like that as well. It was good. Yiri's one was also good, but I like the one with Sam. The second one with Sam, the sort of what we talk about in the end is really nice, and then the one I did with Jawhacks Fitness is also really good because
Okay,
it's allowed me to lay out a lot of thoughts about what I've learned in the past few months.
I see. Okay. If you could give your past self who just got into content creation some advice, what would you tell him?
Respect your audience. Respect your audience a lot. Care about that slot that you put in their subscription feed. Care about it a lot. Value it. Don't abuse it. Speak in a coherent manner. Don't upload things that are disrespectful. And have them in mind whenever you're doing anything. And I mean, that's one side of things. Then the other side is keep going
Mm,
and keep learning.
nice. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about your school. So, what will people get if they join your school?
Health. They will get health. Because I am relentless in terms of health. I never think that I have the full picture. And that is why I know the things I know now. I know how people progress in there. I know that they come in with some kind of issue and then a while later it's gone. It's happened with a bunch of things. A bunch of things. Poor digestion, especially skin issues. I mean, eczema, acne are just, they're going out, like, they're just dropping off. I feel like I'm the acne killer. And those are really the people I can focus on. So, they make a post and then I give, an answer and then, okay, bam, they know what to do. They know what to do and they know what to do. And then suddenly they come on a call and they say, oh, I'm good now. Just feel a lot better. Thank you. And so what will they gain? They will gain health. That is really what they'll gain. I that's really what I think. I can't describe it in any other way, because that is what I see with all the other members. They'll also have a
Nice.
really fun time. You see many people in modern society who are health conscious. Let's say they don't have anyone around them. I don't have anyone around me really in my social circle that is health conscious. At least here in Sweden, in Stockholm, which means that whenever I'm able to speak to health conscious people, I get really happy because obviously both of us understand everything the other is saying. We come from the same perspective, and so over there you get to meet a bunch of people who are health conscious. So you can form connections with people who are perhaps from your country. We have a bunch of people from Canada, the US, all over Europe. Really, we have people in Brazil, bunch of people. So also the Middle East as well. So just it becomes easier to form relationships. I have a member who lives in Malmö. He because I have a friend in Poland and he is Polish. He went to a farm there. They met up with each other because of it was my idea to send him there, and he's had a great time there. He was there for, I believe, 2 months or something, and he has had very good health effects from being there, and it has
Mm,
changed his life, and his life has changed in general. So you also gain connections. And then, I mean, in terms of resources, we have 80 plus hours of recorded calls. I have a course I'm rolling out now. I have some of the best EMF information on the internet, to be honest with you. Because I have a great teacher. His name is Ole Kitsing, credit to him. Um, I have a bunch of exclusive videos as well. There's just so much information in there. It's absolutely outstanding. It's like if you're health conscious, it's an absolute gold mine of stuff. And people who are health conscious or really like this stuff, when they join, they tell me like there's so much here. It's just so fun to learn all this stuff. And so yeah, you're gonna have a fundamental change in perspective in terms of health, and also you'll be accountable, or you'll have accountability, because the people in here, like it's standard to do everything correct in terms of health, and if you're not doing that, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, why did you do that? I usually joke about it with them, but then it's socially expected to be doing certain things. And so obviously you become a more health conscious person who does these kinds of things because of the social environment you're putting yourself in. You are molded by the social environment you put yourself in. So if you put yourself in there with all these wonderful people, like really, they're very wonderful, um, you sort of become like them. You'll become healthy. That is the case.
Nice. What have been some of the most challenging things you have faced running your school community?
I guess perfectionism. I think I'm not. I'm hard to satisfy. Okay, I'm hard to say. Well, in terms of the things I produce, I have very strict criteria for the things I produce, and so I sort of have a plan of where I want everything to be, and it takes a while to get there, and it's not there yet. Although there's a lot there, there's a ton there. Jesus Christ, there's a ton there, but it's still not like exactly where I want it to be. Um, But I like what I have in mind is me having the full course out, which is gonna be 10 full modules filled with videos, and then a summary for each video, and then for each module there's actionable steps. I'm already done with the light part now. I'm doing water. Um, and then there's gonna be EMF, nutrition, pollution, a bunch of other things as well. So I just want everything there, everything. But other than that, to be honest with you, other than the perfectionist mindset, which is honestly a bit irrational on my part because it's already fantastic in there, at least that's what I hear from my members, the main thing I'd say is that I'm not running into challenges. I'm just having a wonderful time in there.
Nice. What do you drink now?
Water.
Oh, okay.
Spring
Is there
and
anything special about that?
well, I ideally you want spring water. This isn't spring water. This is reverse osmosis because the nearest spring is pretty far away. Sometimes I get water from there, but not always. So I cool it down. I vortex it. I put sea salt in it, unrefined sea salt in it. Not, just a little bit, not too much. Probably 4 grams per liter, something like that. I feel best on that, really. And then yeah, just that. So remineralized, structured water.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hardworking do you think you are?
Based on what I've seen out there, 6. But I will say 6 because there are some people who sacrifice their health for their work. I don't necessarily do that.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, they stay up late. They don't go outside. They work all day. I realize that my circadian rhythm and my health is more important. So I'll choose a certain time to work, but then maybe I could do other things. No, I go outside in the sun, the ground, sit and listen to something. So I'm learning at the same time. And then in the evening, when I could perhaps do more work, I sort of calm down the brain, make sure I'm not overstimulating it with a bunch of stuff, and yeah, then I use that time for relaxation instead of work, which I think everyone should do. So for me, I try to be as productive as possible during a burst each day, and not necessarily maintain that burst over the entire day, which is what 10 out of 10 productivity would be. Those are the kinds of people who would, let's say, sacrifice their health. And, you know, I'd say, but it depends on how you define it, because I've
Mm-hmm.
really modeled my life to satisfy, you know, health as well as possible while doing this work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to say it that way, then it's a 10 out of 10 because every single moment I live is lived doing what I preach. So
I see.
in that case, I'm working all the time. And if you want to say that, then yeah, it's a 10 because there's, again, no moment where I'm not doing what I preach.
When you were talking about some people that work all the time, who like sacrifice their sleep, are you talking about some certain content creators? Did you have any
No,
actual people
no.
in mind?
There is this guy who used to. I can't remember what he's called, but he used to do live streams where he'd sit inside and study coding for 24 hours or no 12 hours in a row. Can't remember exactly what he's called. Something with a some Schultz. I think Schultz maybe something like that. And obviously that's not healthy, being under artificial light in front of a computer all day. I understand why he did it though, and obviously he's way more hardworking than I am. I just think perhaps I work smarter, not harder, because I
Okay.
prioritize health. And so the more I prioritize the health of my brain, the better I'm able to work, the better I'm able to actually choose what it is I should be working on.
What are some aspects about yourself that you would like to improve?
I'll tell you one thing. I was in Georgia. I was in a, what is it, an Airbnb? Yeah, technically an Airbnb. A hostel, so, but it had several rooms, so I had a room. But then there were other people sharing the rooms. For most of the time, there was no one there because I went to Georgia in January. No one goes to Georgia in January, usually, at least to the village I was in. But there came this Irish lady who was traveling around Georgia. She stayed there for 3 days, and she was talkative. We had some conversations about this and that, some disagreements as well. So we talked a lot because I like discussing things. It's intellectually stimulating, and in the end, when she was going to Tbilisi, because I was in West Georgia, she was also, because she was with me, but she was going to Tbilisi, which is a sort of more on the east. And I asked her, 'cause she had stayed with a lot of people, so I asked her how good was I as a hostel partner, you could say. And she said, no, you were great, but like two specific things were that she heard me speak on school, and she said you're very well spoken, which I mean that's up to other people to judge. She said for your age, I mean, to me that was very impressive what you did there. And then two, oh my god, my battery. I have to charge my laptop. It's gonna die soon. Um, yes, but in any case, I'll let the computer die. No worries. And then that will be that. I guess. But she said you're very sort of centered around. You're very competitive, she said. Almost so competitive that you don't care about the other person's feelings. And I believe I can do that. I have a tendency to do that with people that I get comfortable with. And it's something that I want to stop. I want to sort of be more calm about things. And I have been more aware of it these past few months, this year more specifically. When meeting new people in other countries, I have been aware of it because I've made the mistake several times. I can be very sort of assertive. I guess maybe because of my upbringing. that is something I'm already working on and I've made great progress in. Another thing is that I'd like to meditate more. Usually I sacrifice meditation for other things. Those are two things.
Nice. Was she saying that you are too ambitious?
No, not ambitious, but very competitive. Like for example, when we're talking about a subject and we have a disagreement, I am, you know, I couldn't like I very on the point. I argue
I
very
see, I
on
see,
point, and
I see.
I don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but she
Okay,
didn't stop either. So I mean, it's
guess you are both competitive.
I guess.
Did you say you want to charge your laptop?
I mean, I don't want to like using a laptop while it's charging is very unhealthy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're. I guess there's not many questions left. Let's see. In what situation would you want to go to a hospital? Oh, did our boy just. Let me see if he's going to message me. Oh, he's here.
Hello.
What's up, guy? Our
I'm
boy's
back.
back. So my question was, in what situation would you want to go to a hospital?
Well, if I break a leg, break a bone, I'm in a traumatic situation. I think our current modern medical establishment is really good at handling those kinds of situations. I mean, surgeons, etc. I think they're saving lots of lives. They're really important. Those people are very, very important. The part of the modern medical establishment that we obviously are against is the part that is trying to do something for chronic diseases because they're absolutely horrible at those. Um, I mean, the third leading cause of death, actually, in the United States, last time I checked, was medical treatment, interestingly enough.
If you had all the money in the world, how would you want to live your life?
Based on what I'm doing right now, it wouldn't change. It wouldn't really change,
Nice.
to be honest with you. All I'd do is, I think the only thing that would change is that I'd probably buy houses for my parents at lower latitudes in the tropics. I'd pay for their tickets. I'd give them some money. I'd say live here. That's what I'd say, and I'd keep some for investment for them. Um, and then for me, I would just take care of my investments as well with the money I've been given. Or I guess if I have all the money in the world, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it's infinite. I think I'd just upgrade my devices. I'd get sort of a really, really good editor who I can have a good I'd probably also pay him because part of the job would be that anyone who works with me has to do all the health stuff. Because I need people who are healthy too and understand my work to be able like you can't edit my videos if you don't understand what I'm talking about. That's the thing. So I can't just hire any editor. That's the problem. So I do that, and then I just sort of I'd use the money to produce a lot of great content for the world. I think I'd organize big events, etc. I'll probably open up some kind of non-profit charity, all that. I'd get involved probably in several governments all across the world. Give them a bunch of papers, just do speeches. Have some kind of organization that trains people in decentralized health. I'd make Jack Kruse I'd give him like tons and tons of money to probably make you know get his message out as far as possible, to be honest with you. because I would always give him credit and say that the things that he is saying are really the things that we need in modern society. That's really what I do. I just do everything I can to just make the world a better place, make it healthier, spread the message, save all those poor kids don't know what is happening to them at an early age, and they need to go through hospital treatments, and then they endure weeks of suffering only to die at the hands of the medical establishment. That is really what I don't want to see. I really don't want to see that, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what I'd fight for.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So, what are your goals for now?
To make as many people as possible healthy. That's really the main goal. And also, so that I can do that, I need to be in the best possible state of health. So also me becoming as healthy as possible, and also learning as much as possible, becoming 100 times more knowledgeable than I am now, really, 1,000 times. That's what I'm
Nice.
looking for, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more I know, the more I can help people.
Mm-hmm. Do you invest now?
Um, I don't. That's not something I'd like to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
but I can tell you that what I usually promote is what Dr. Jack Kruse promotes. He was really the one who taught me about this.
Uh-huh.
I'd say look for the most decentralized currency. Long story short, that is Bitcoin.
Uh-huh. I see.
Yeah.
Nice. Are there some people in the diet and health space that you think I can potentially create a good conversation with? Maybe I can interview them.
Dr. Sarah Pugh.
Hmm.
I think she'd be up for an interview. She'd love to talk to you, probably.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Oh, if you did this with Dr. Jack Kruse, that would be very interesting.
I don't. I don't
Holy,
know.
that would be interesting. I'd love to see that. Jesus
Interesting.
Christ.
Okay. So Jones, where can people find you?
Oh, well, this is what I usually say. But my channel, that's where my main work is. My YouTube channel, again, Excellent Health. Just really just Excellent Health, those two words, and you should find my channel straight away. And then, the videos that I've made after September 2024, I'd say. Maybe beginning with the water video, perhaps, and then later. But also the first Jack Cruz interview, that's really important. Just watching all of that, I think will change many lives, or change well, we're only talking to one person. It's me, you, and the viewer. It will change the viewer's life, I believe. And then after that, if you want sort of more of me, then we join the Skool community. And then, should you wish to, instead of just joining the Skool community, talk to me straight away, I mean, I do consultations. If you go to my channel on the link tree, you can see the consultations page, and you just reach out to me there. I only accept people who I know I can help, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Skool community if you like my videos. But again, before you do any of that, watch my videos first. That's really the important part.
Nice. So this is the last question for this interview. What's something you think every human in the world should start doing if we want to make the world a better place?
I'd say this question it contains so much power that I know that this is something I need to think a lot about before answering. But I'll say a few things that come to mind. The two main things that come to mind, I believe, is Kant's axiom, which is if you only do things that you'd accept as universal rules, for example. So if you, let's say you sleep with a girl, that is someone's daughter. That means you accept that men can sleep with your daughter outside of marriage. If everyone thought about it that way, then we'd have a very different world. I think that's one. I'd say two is turn off the lights. Yeah, turn off the lights. Follow the light cycles in your environment.
Alright, guys, so this is our guest, Jones. I'm your host, Eggman. I'll catch you guys in my future interview. Peace out.